What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. Is another Watch Your Rounds video, and in this one we are going to be taking a look at the two new banners coming in this weekend. Special Invocation of Spirits, Special Ancient Summoning and Special Divine Summoning. There is a new Lord Hero, Rygar, who we're going to go over and let's have a little discussion. How good is he looking? Also we've got Kyra, the friggin' Foxfire Kitsune. He has got a little bit of jiggle. Are they going to be flames? I'm assuming they are. Foxfire, yeah. Design is cool, I like it. Oh my god, the friggin' ears wiggle! Seriously? Okay, so we'll go over her. Nightmare Piercer. Also, Rygar, who has got an awesome design. Look at this animal. Look at this animal, the skulls on him. The friggin' pauldron and the axe and hammer. I mean, one-handing an axe. Imagine dual-wielding a great big axe and a friggin' hammer. You don't really see that, the size of that hammer anyway. Design is so cool. He is a fighter. He has got a 2-range hit, which actually brings in some versatility for him. So we're going to have a look at him as well. But first, we are going to be looking at Kyra. Oh, Yuri, sorry. Did I call her Kyra earlier? What is wrong with me? Yuri. Foxfire Kitsune. So she is a Nightmare Piercer. So she will be going on, wait, is she going to be on the ground? Is she going to... I really should log into the test server and check. She is a flame I cannot touch. Of course, that bond skill with Kagiri as well. So she is a marksman. She is a piercing. I would assume she's going to be on a tile above, right, and a raised platform because she is a marksman. It's like Kitsune with deadly grace. She dances through foes, leaving only pain and ruin in her wake. Okay. Not quite competing with lust, though, are you, Yuri? No. So, talent. Every 5 basic attacks will trigger a Chaos Orb that deals 160% damage to the target and 4 surrounding enemies. One time. So that's the Chaos Orb that goes in. Then we'll do 50% damage 6 times to random targets in range. Deals 20% increased damage to airborne units. Now she will prioritise airborne units over ground units, which is always a good thing for a marksman. Can I quickly... I want to look at her promotions at max level. It extends. Okay, good. So we do get a nice extension here, the extra 2 tiles either side, making it so it's not just that one she's focusing on. She's going to have that wide range across her. Be interesting to see her paired up with the likes of Arika. There may be some kind of use for that. Let's have a look at her attack. Her attack is 3725, which is rather nice. Rage in her basic attack is 10+2, so in a promotion there she has got a rage regen on one of her promotions. Let's have a look at her basic attack. Deals 50% damage 2 times to random enemies in range, prioritising airborne units. We did just mention that. That will go up to 60%. Needle of Torment. Now this is her ultimate, and look at the range on this, okay? It's a rather unusual one because it's going way up in front and to the sides as well. So it's not like it's going behind her, it's all in front and wide range of area to hit as well. So it deals 5 hits of 55% damage, which increases to 75% damage per second to 1 enemy in range. So 5 hits every second. Like, that's quite a lot. I know it's 75% damage, so it's not that full damage, but it's still a lot, especially if it's airborne units as well, because she's dealing extra to airborne, right, as being a piercer. When a target dies during the skill, gains 5% rage and targets one other enemy near the fallen target. Now this goes on for 10 seconds upon upgrading, and it's got a short skill cost as well. Like, it's not gonna... it could be triggered quite often. So 5 hits of 75% damage per second to 1 enemy in range. When a target dies during the skill, gains 5% rage. That doesn't get increased at all, but 5% is enough. Especially if, you know, a lot of enemies can be quite susceptible to rampant hits. We're not on about bosses here, we're on about ads, ones that are just pushing through. We're not on about tanks. Okay, she is a piercer, she is a marksman, she will be nuking out those ads, and the range here is insane. It'll be interesting to see actually that in guild versus guild. That will be interesting to see. I wonder how fast she can pull out, you know, kill the likes of shielders and healers before they get the chance, because that range is massive. So that will be an interesting one, actually. And how fast it will regen. And then obviously that extra 5%. Okay, enough on that. Vixen's Charm. Passive. Talent and ultimate inflict defense reduction on the target's hit for 3 seconds. Now, this isn't just a small defense reduction. This is 25%, and it lasts for 5 seconds. That 25% is massive. That is going to be a big one. So that's interesting as well, that she's got that defense reduction for 5 seconds. Seductive Glance, her other passive. Each time the talent is triggered, increases attack by 8%, stacking up to 2 times. When she's obviously skilled, that's going to go 10% attack, and it's going to be 4 stacks. So she's going to get an extra 40% attack as well, and that will reset after 20 seconds. So every time that talent is triggered, which is every 5 basic attacks, which will get a Chaos Orb, it deals 160% damage. We're going to want to be building on attack and attack speed, right? Obviously crit rate, crit damage as well, but your main focus is going to be that attack percent and attack speed. Those are going to be your main focus. Even if you can get that crit rate, don't worry so much about crit damage, attack bonus, attack speed, and crit rate. Those are going to be your main sort of targets. Rage generation, okay, I mean, maybe rather nice as well, but we'll just see about that. Now, her passive bond skill, that she gets for having Kiggery, and the majority of you will have Kiggery. Obtain Hero, Kiggery the Undying, Ronin, to unlock the following bonus effect. Chaos Orb triggered by the talent deals 100% increased damage to the main target. After dealing damage, restores 10% health to 2 friendly units within 3 tiles of the Chaos Orb. This effect doesn't affect the hero's health, so it does restore 10% health and an extra 100% damage from being paired up. So which makes her a little bit more useful then against the likes of those single targets. I'm not saying she's going to be a boss nuker, but Guild versus Guild and your general PvE content, she could be very good. She could be very good. She reads really nice. We'll just have to see how she plays. Okay, Awakened 1. When dealing damage, there is a 10% chance of inflicting stun on the target. So let's just consider this a moment. She's going to be having rapid hits, alright? Rapid hits, especially during that ultimate as well. And we've then got that Chaos Orb. A 10% chance of inflicting stun on the target, I think, is a great awakening for... what the hell is her name again? Is it Kiri? Yuri. Kiri? Kiri good? They should have called her Kiri, because she... They should have called her Kiri. Okay. Awaken 2, attack plus 300. Awaken 3, damage increases as the number of targets in basic attack range decreases. So the less targets in range, the better. Damage increases range from 8% to 40%. So if we are against a single target, she is going to be nuking a lot harder, which is a big awaken. Awaken 4, penetration plus 8%. And Awaken 5 reduces AoE damage taken by 50%. This effect can be triggered up to 1 times every 20 seconds. Now, the only way I can see... This feels to me like more PvP. Okay, so like Guild versus Guild. This awakening feels for me with the reduction in AoE damage, i.e. bookkeepers, i.e. more. But it's only once every 20 seconds. And it may just be enough to offset her dying. Bear in mind, she's probably going to be paired up with the likes of Sun Wukong. So she's got another death save there. So that'll be interesting on that AoE damage and how that one works too. But I think she's a solid hero. Is she worth pulling for? Yes, in my opinion, she definitely is. I feel like there will be quite a bit of use for her. And I mean, you can pair her one way or the other. With Nightmare teams, she's going to get that attack speed boost if you've got the likes of Torador, Wrath, or even Rygar now. Piercer, she's going to have that extended range. So I feel like Yuri's definitely one you'd want to pull for. Special Ancient Summoning, no, we don't want Fallon in here, but Fallon is another good hero. Rygar, now I have hardly any Ancient Summons. And the fact I didn't get Ingrid last time around and I got a Liar, I really wish I did Horde for Rygar now. Because I feel like Rygar is going to be another big hero. He can't look like this and be terrible, right? You can't make a hero look like this and be terrible. So look at his talent. Hammer Attack has a 20% chance to inflict stun on a target, while Axe has a 20% chance to inflict defense reduction. This defense reduction is 20% though. So let's go back to Yuri a moment. She has a 25% defense reduction. Let's just quickly look at the range. Range stays the same. Huge amount of attack here, 6223. Okay, he's going to have a crazy amount of attack, which you'd expect for a fighter. Rage generation is 10 plus 1. Let's go back a moment. Ally buff, hard control, single target attack. Let's have a look at his physical attack here, or his basic attack. He is based on physical attack. Has a 40% chance to attack with the hammer and deal 100% damage, a 40% chance to attack with the axe and deal 100% damage, and a 20% chance to use Warlord's Might, dealing 100% damage 2 times. Basically, he's going to use both of his axes and his hammer. Sorry, damage does get increased by 20%, so this will be 120%. Warlord's Might attacks with 2 weapons simultaneously and has a chance to trigger talent effects. So not only is he going to be dual hitting, he's also going to have that chance to stun and to defense reduction. His ultimate, Earth Shatter. Basic attack is turned into Warlord's Might. So what we was just talking about with the double hit, it will be during his ultimate, okay? There's not another way, or what I've read so far, to trigger that. And doubles the chance of inflicting stun. So, wow. So we're going to have a 20% chance to inflict stun, a 20% chance to inflict defense reduction 20% on targets every 3 attacks. So every time we're hitting, so again, attack speed on this dude is going to be important as well. Attack bonus, attack speed, crit rate, crit damage. Depending on who you're paired up with, you're probably going to want to have a bit of health because he's probably going to get hit behind your tank as well. An earthquake that deals 200% damage to 1 main target and 50% damage to up to 5 targets nearby enemy. What? That doesn't read right. So every attack he is using the duel, but every 3 attacks he's going to be triggering an earthquake that deals 200% damage to 1 main target and 50% damage to up to 5 targets nearby the enemies. That shouldn't be there. The target shouldn't be there. Up to 5 targets nearby enemies. This does increase to 300%. Earthquake damage to nearby targets is plus 20%, so it'll be 70%, 300%. Oh, that's some nasty hits. That is some nasty hits. I'd love to see him paired up with Torador. Put him behind Torador, but then we're going to be thinking, well, Sun Wukong, where's he going to go? And yeah, rightly so, thinking that, because can he really replace Sun Wukong in, say, let's just say Guild vs Guild at the moment. And I mentioned Guild vs Guild quite a lot now because that is the end game content, right? That is the end game content. That's where we want to be looking now. Brute Strength is passive. Warlord's Might ignores 15% of the target's defense. When Warlord's Might is triggered, increases attack by 2% for 10 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. That does get increased by 15% on 3 times, and defense penetration is a further 5%. So we're going to be ignoring 15% of the target defense. We're going to be reducing the target's defense by 20%, and we're going to have an extra defense penetration of 5%. So he could be dealing some pretty nice damage there. Calloused Hands, his auto. Every 70 seconds, he resists 1 instance of damage when triggered, increases damage by 15% for 10 seconds. Each time the hero deals damage, reduces the cooldown of this effect by 1 second. The cooldown is minus 10 seconds, so it'll be 60. The duration will not be 10 seconds, it'll be 15, and the damage increase will be 25% upgraded. So 60 seconds, he will have Calloused Hands, 25% damage increase, and yeah, that is right, yeah. And the duration will be 15 seconds. So it's not that bad, as each time the hero deals damage as well. Now, I'm just thinking, hang on, if he's dual hitting with his axe and with his hammer, is that going to count as 2 seconds reduction, or is that only going to be 1 still, because he's dual wielding? I would assume it would be 2 seconds in his ultimate phase rather than in his basic when he's only hitting 1 time. His Lord skill, Nightmare Power 3, increases faction team members' basic attributes by 15%. Every time a faction team member is deployed, all deployed faction team members gain 5 up to 35% attack speed, respectively up to 35%. However, the healing effect is reduced by 15%. When Rygar is the Lord and the ultimate is triggered, faction team members gain buffs. So basic attack damage is increased by 25%, and each basic attack restores 3% health. The applied buffs last until the end of the ultimate. Now, if you was to pair this up with Torador or Rygar, whose Lord skill would you rather use? Because they're very, very similar, right? They're very, very similar. Let's just quickly check Torador, his Lord skill. Basic attack has a 30% chance of landing an X. I would rather take Torador all day long. That's tricky. It is, that's tricky, isn't it? 30% extra hit, or would you rather have the basic attack damage increases by 25%? And each basic attack restored. It's very even, isn't it? Because you've got that guaranteed 25% extra damage on every basic attack, but that's for the faction members as well. Same as it is for Torador getting the extra hit. But if you get an extra hit, it's 100%, theoretically, right? So, I think that's quite a tight one. You're going to have to test it, and we're going to have to test that at some point. His cost is 19, so he doesn't cost a huge amount either, which is great. That is great. Let's have a little look at his Awakens a moment. During the ultimate, triggers 1 Earthquake every 2 attacks instead, so it's no longer 3, it's going to be every 2, which is a big increase on that Awaken 1. Increases faction team members' attack speed by 20 on Awaken 2. Awaken 3 increases the ultimate, what, by 10 seconds. That's huge. That's going to be pure damage mode. That is going to be pure damage mode. That's a big one. Awaken 3. Awaken 4, penetration was 8%. Awaken 5 increases the maximum stacks of brute strength attack increase by 2. Brute strength. We're going to have 5 stacks. And it'll be 25% attack increase. That Awaken 3 for me was massive. That this increasing the ultimate duration by 10 seconds, and same as Awaken 1. I wouldn't worry too much about these are lords, okay? It's very rare that many people have an ancient lord at Awaken 3 or 5, okay? You're going to be using polished soul stones to get it unless you've got a crazy amount of money and you're just going to be throwing it at this dude. I definitely think he's going to be a big damage dealer. Especially at A3, it's going to be huge. It's going to be nasty as hell. Nasty as hell. Because it's already lasting 25 seconds. You have 35 seconds of Earth Shatter. 35 seconds of this. Crazy stuns, crazy defense reduction. Yeah. So definitely an attack bonus build, or attack build, attack speed, crit rate, then crit damage on this guy. I actually think he's going to be hitting very, very hard. I really do. And, I mean, this is nice as well, resisting 1 instance of damage, because, again, the similar kind of thing that we had, and what was her name again? Oh, my God. It wasn't Kit. I keep saying Kiri. It's Yuri. Similar kind of effect on that with a 50% damage reduction, although this is completely disregarding one of those hits, which is going to be fantastic in the likes of Guild versus Guild of Bookkeepers and friggin' Uncommon Knights. So that will be another interesting one. So I personally feel it's definitely worth pulling on this banner. I really do. Because this is huge heroes. Yuri looks very promising. Also, Artemis is in here. You will find some use for him. But definitely this Rygar, I can see it being... The trouble is we now have Sun Wukong. And that's the only thing I'm concerned about, because he has the same attack range. And he hasn't got the tankiness. He isn't a tank. He's an attacker. So to find... Yeah. I mean, Sun Wukong has much more about him with the death survival and everyone. But he's going to be hitting hard. He's going to be hitting friggin' hard. It'll be an interesting one. I want him. I would love to have him in my roster to play about with and to see how that comes about. There's also the artifact that's coming up for Beelzebub, so you're going to want to get that one too. Definitely good introduction of these two new heroes. Let's have a real quick look at Kigiri, or Kirigi, however I say his go away offers. Let's go to Nightmare quickly. We should have done this just through the other hero, and I need to have a look at, where is he? There. Kigiri. Let's have a look at his bond skill. So obtain hero Yuri to unlock the following bonus effect. When Sweeping Strike is triggered, restores 10% health. When Ember Strike is triggered, restores 25% health. So, yeah, we've got some extra survivability there, but it's not like it's a must. It's not a must at all. But it is a nice passive still. A nice bond skill. I prefer the one for Yuri. So that's it. Are you going to be pulling on this banner? Do you feel like Yuri and Rygar are going to be great heroes? Because personally, I feel like there's a lot of potential for them. New heroes coming into the game are very strong, and like new accounts are going to benefit a lot from Yuri as well being on their team if they can get enough attack and attack speed and crit rate. If not, then potentially not as great, but definitely going to need a lot of attack. So I'll see all of you in the next video. I hope you have a fantastic day even wherever you are, and have a fantastic weekend. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment below on this channel to help it grow. Take care, goodbye.